everybody, Old School Nerd. Welcome in. It is Tuesday, which means Tuesday Travels with Old School Nerd. I will give you three guesses as to where we're going today. But if you need all three, I just wasted so far 20 seconds of your Tuesday, and I apologize for that. Italia or Italy, depending upon where you're from. If you're American, you're like, the place where they make the pizza and the pasta. But yeah, Italia, Italy. Okay, Tuesday Travels with Old School Nerd. This is one of those times where I have to be very careful. Not because I'm going to offend anyone, no. Because if I'm not careful, this video will be 3 hours and 37 minutes. Why? Because this is one of those countries that does have a deep, rich metal music history. Like, I have to be very careful when I do Japan, the UK, Germany, all the Nordic countries, US, Canada. I'm going to have to be careful when I do those type of countries, because if I try to just list the bands that are really good in metal, both past, present, it's just me listing names for 3 hours and whatever minutes. So we're not going to do that. I'd rather talk about the country and just a few of the bands and what you can find if you just go look. One of my favorite things about making this channel 4 years ago was the premise of this. I'm a guy that grew up in the 70s and 80s in America, in the South. And during that time, the only music that I knew of was what was played on the radio or in the 80s and 90s played on MTV. The industry, the music industry itself, told me what was good. And outside of that, I had no idea what was going on around the world. The generation that exists in their young child, developmental, teenage, and young adult years is a completely different universe than what I grew up in. Now, I haven't even turned on the radio in my vehicle in years. I haven't watched MTV since they stopped putting music videos on music television. Why? I don't care about reality TV. Here's the thing. With YouTube and streaming services, if I go in there and I type in metal music from Italy, go. It's going to metal music from Italy. And it's fun. YouTube, you can find anything. And one of my favorite things about it was, this was an old school nerd from America discovering music, rock, metal, folk music, anything from places other than here. And that was important. And along the way, we brought a lot of friends with us. We discovered a lot of bands to where now we've built this community where we share this information. Today, we're going to Italy. Now, for those of you who are metal fans, especially if you're from Europe, I don't have to tell you about the metal scene in Italy. It is vibrant. It is passionate. It is crazy cool. Now, for those of us in America, we don't know a lot of bands that right off the bat we know are from Italy. We know there's bands from the UK. The Beatles, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones. It's pretty obvious. If you go to Germany, every American knows who Rammstein is. Why? Because everyone knows who Vin Diesel is. It's a bad example, but it's true. And look, if you ask Americans what bands come from Sweden, we automatically think of ABBA, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. And if you go to Finland, you throw a rock into the woods, you'll probably hit 5 death metal bands just sitting in the trees. What I'm telling you is, music is as vibrant globally as anything you can imagine. Luckily, now with the advent of social media, the internet, and YouTube and places like that, Americans like myself can really find cultures involving music from around the world. Today we're talking about Italy. Now when it comes to music, Italy is known for opera. I'm sorry, Germany, Spain, France, you got a good opera scene. but we just stereotypically think pizza, pasta, opera, Italy. That's just because we're ignorant. But from our metal sense, there's not a lot of household names. Now, if I tell you Lacuna Coil, okay, for metal fans that don't pay attention and they just listen to the radio here in the US, they may know that band. But some of the other bands I'm about to mention, they're not going to know. Genus Ordinus Dei, Etergo Lupi, Rhapsody of Fire, Jli Atroci, Dream Quest, Methydras, Elven King. Those are bands Americans, unless they're like deep into the metal scene, they're not going to know. Even people on my channel may not know them unless they just saw me list them. Now, I only know those bands because all of you told me, Oldskulenerd, mention these bands. And that's because I asked my community, are there any Italian bands that I don't know about? And the list just goes, because all of you know way more about this than I do. Now, Italy is a very unique country, okay? And the best way to use the analogy of metal music and rock music in Italy is to discuss its food culture. Japanese cuisine is all about technique, taking flavors to its maximum level in unorthodox ways. Sounds like Japanese metal to me. If you go to Germany, it's vibrant, it's technical, it's layered, and it can get a little fatty and crazy at times. German metal. The French, it's all about technique. It's all about technique. Hey, did I mention it's technique? Exactly. And Spain, well, if you look at Spanish food and their Spanish metal, it's vibrant. It's cutting edge. But everyone is influenced by Spanish food, but their food culture touches everybody else's food, but people don't realize that that stuff comes from Spain. It's weird, but it's true. Now, when you talk about Italy, the best way for me to talk about Italian music, as far as metal and rock, is to talk about Italian food. It is one of the most well-known music because the food is so well-known, but not for the ways you're thinking. Is it technical? Yes, it can be. Can it be dark? Yeah. Can it be rich? Yeah. But why is it Italian? Because it comes from here. Italian food, similar to Italian music, is communal. It's about family. It's a passion. It's a legacy. It's something that's important. So when you're talking about Italian metal, the reason why you don't see a lot of household names is because Italian bands don't sell out to the industry. They have a tendency to find what they are, who they are, their specific recipe, and they never allow someone to complicate that. They will not be manipulated. They stick to their guns, which I like. Bands like Flesh God Apocalypse. Now, wait a minute. What the hell does that have to do with Italy? Flesh God Apocalypse is from Italy. Now, that's as dark as it gets. Flesh God Apocalypse. But have you ever seen a video from them? Is it dark? Yeah. Is it evil? Uh-huh. Does it have demons and zombies and crazy stuff in it? It can. But what else do they have? A absolutely gorgeous female vocal accompaniment with a female vocalist draped literally like a superhuman, superpowered, epic opera singer. It's not by accident, okay? I also want to talk about the passion of Italian metal music. Now, there are quite a few bands that I've checked out from Italy that I absolutely love. Each one of them I love for a different reason. Let me run through just a few of these so you can get what I'm talking about. Now, my love of Italian music, and please let me be honest with you, it is limited, okay? For death metal and black metal and a lot of the traditional heavy metal, I'm not as familiar with Italian bands of those genres because I don't follow those genres as much. Symphonic metal bands, metalcore, progressive metal, folk metal, and my favorite, well, the funny shit. Okay. When it comes to storytelling, you can have a band like Windrose, okay? And Windrose is an amazing band of dwarves. Sorry, that's what they are. I'm not saying that the band is a bunch of little people. I didn't say that. They're actually like Lord of the Ring, Warhammer, World of Warcraft. Yeah, the ones that live in the mountains, that diggy holes, precious gems, heavy armor, epic battles, storytelling. Yeah, dwarves. Not a joke. The entire band is based upon that storytelling from a dwarven experience. The mythical, fantastical fantasy race that, it's a thing. And because for some reason their passion, you really think. And then when you meet them, you're like, I thought you guys would be like a meter tall, max. And they're like, no, we're regular height. We're just, it's a theme. Okay, cool. All right, so, and they do funny songs, epic songs, but yes, they are themed. You go to another band, and this is the one, I'm going to tell you a few more bands, and I want you to check out these names I'm throwing to you, okay? We've talked about Flesh God Apocalypse. We've talked about Lacuna Coil. And those bands are known in their genres, okay? Both bands, dark themed. One of them, very dark themed. And that kind of goes with that metal thought process. There are bands in Italy that I absolutely love that may not have that, okay? Let's do this, okay? Nano War of Steel. Okay. This one's hard. Nano War of Steel. Ready? A bunch of scientists with graduate degrees, PhDs, like legitimate smart guys that can do all the math. Yeah, they do maths, okay? These guys form a band. I don't know, maybe they got bored because, they're not working on a statistical physics theory, but they form a band, and then their band does hilarious comedic things. They have a song called Uranus. Is it about the planet? Is it about your mom's bunghole? The jury's out. Not really sure. Okay, so, and they have many songs. Okay, there's a song called Valhallelujah. It's a song about Odin. Okay, and before the Marvel Universe really came out, Odin wasn't really worshipped anymore because, all the Nordic countries kind of progressed into modern thought processes and religions and forgot the old ways. Odin lost a lot of his worshippers, a lot of his power. He got bored. And I think he works at IKEA now. You have to listen to it to even think about understanding it. Nanowar Steel is a nerd comedy dream. And I've seen them live. I've seen them live supporting bands like Amaranth and Dragon Force. Two bands that are known to be musically perfect in every way. And this band can hold up to the challenge. Not only are they musically proficient, amazing musicians, but their live show is a tour de force of comedy gold that has the entire crowd literally wrapped around their finger the entire time. Nanowar Steel. Bands like Temperance, symphonic, amazing metal. Now here's the thing. Temperance has a singer. Her last name is Starkey, and she's from America. And she has operatic training and a belting vocal. I don't think she needs a microphone in a hall to be heard. It is power. It is gorgeous. It is magnificent. What makes Temperance amazing is their storytelling. Think of the Lord of the Rings if it wasn't 12 hours long and just going on and on. What if they just showed that one moment where Aragorn, Viggo Mortensen, runs towards the bad guys with the sword in his hand and his hair is just flowing in the wind and you're like, oh. Yeah, that one moment, make it a song. That's what Temperance does. Here's the best part. The members of Temperance, Italian band, female singer from America, but all the guys of that band, yeah, it's a choral arrangement. All the guys in that band can sing. I mean, it is like layers of harmony. It's beautiful. Elven King, similar to Windrose, but elves, it happens. Okay, so do you see what I'm saying? Italy tells stories, classic stories. No matter the genre of metal, no matter the genre of music, they tell wonderful stories. Even Lacuna Coil and Flesh God Apocalypse, if you get past the point that you think you're probably going to go to hell for listening to it or watching it, the story is still there. And you're like, wow, man, it's like The Walking Dead and The Exorcist had a baby and then made a 3-part music video about it. Right? Exactly. Now, the last band I want to talk about from Italy is a band that I've been following now for about 3 years. And I remember when this band was up and coming, kind of an independent band. They were well known in the metal scene in Europe, but not as well known to me and others like me in America. It's a band called Frozen Crown. Now, for those of you who love Dragon Force, Dream Theater, I don't know, those bands that do like the power metal, but then you're like looking at them and you're going, how the hell do you do that? I mean, what do you... Slow down. I can't follow the... Exactly. Okay? I love Dragon Force. I love the hilarity. I love the storytelling. I love the fact that just the whole dynamic of the band where they're so good and so fast and so complex, it's kind of funny. Okay? Windrose is like that, but Frozen Crown is like that from a musical standpoint. Okay? So they have this amazing singer. Her name is Jade, and she has that, that what you expect from a power metal band. Powerful vocals, belting. She can do soft. She can do explosive. She can do metal. It's that, right? Now, behind her, you get this ensemble of a drummer that looks like he's a runway model from Milan, an old geezer, cooler than school bass player. Okay, rhythm section's locked. Then you take 1, 2, 3 lead guitarists and you put all of them in the same band at the same time. And then you sit down and you write songs smart enough, purposeful enough, and deliberate enough to allow all 3 lead guitarists to complement and just kind of, it's like a lasagna. I'm just going to say it. It's a lasagna of extreme power metal. Every layer is right. There's not too much ricotta. The pasta's cooked properly. Just the right amount of meat sauce. Nice Parmesan crust on the top. It's perfectly layered. And then they go off and it's explosive and it's storytelling. And I watched this band start off fairly smaller label, developing, and now they're on Napalm Records. And they have massive videos. And I'm excited for them because they've worked hard to get it. It's hard to do the videos on countries that do have a deep, rich metal history, like Italy. I don't even know what I'm going to do when I do Germany or a Nordic country. I'm going to try to avoid the UK and America because that's just asking to be yelled at. Now, here's the thing. This is what I need you to do. If you are a metal fan and there's an Italian band that I didn't mention or that I need to talk about, or I obviously missed the biggest band from Italy of all time and I'm an idiot, I need you to do me a favor. Go into the comment below and help me. Help me help the world. I'm going to these places every week and I don't know everything. In fact, I know very little. I know what I like, and if you have something you think I'm going to like, share it with me. Just put it in the comments below. Say something nice. Don't be a dick, because if you're like that, you'll disappear. There are moderators that don't like people just being a-holes all the time. So if there's a band that I missed, do me a favor. Go into the comments and say, hey, Old School Nerd, love the video. I'm glad you talked about Italy. here's a band that you didn't mention, but I think you'd love, and I think your community would love. You put it in there, I'm going to make sure that I respond to you and make sure everyone sees it. So the band you're talking about, we're definitely going to check up on. Why? Because this is a process. I'm going to go to these different places and I may not know everything about it. Like we did Chile last week. I don't know hardly anything about Chilean music. All I know is that country is exploding with its culture. And now's the time to start paying attention to it. Same thing with Italy. I find that Italy has undersung their bands where we need more exposure for them, because there's no way you can have the country where the Renaissance started not pop off musically all the time. Something's being missed, and I want all of your help to help us find those bands. So I've mentioned a few bands that I love from there and bands we need to check out. If there's one that you think that you would like for me to check out, put it in the comments below, and we will definitely check it out. My name is Old School Nerd. I think I've taken up enough of your time. These are 21 minutes you should have been doing searching Italian metal bands on your streaming service. That probably would have been better than listening to me ramble. But I did it, and I can't stop myself. So here we go. I want everyone to check all this stuff out. Again, if there's a band I've missed from Italy, let me know in the comments, because we need more. I have no idea where I'm going next week. My community tells me, but I can tell you this. It's probably going to be a country in Africa. Yeah, probably Africa. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.